Confronting the flat earth. There are truly but a few ways you may have come to find this. Either you stumbled onto it, was told about it, or, and it's a big or, you have always been a skeptic and finally decided to investigate why you feel your reality is not adding up to what you've been told, i.e. taught. However, your path, it's most likely certain, no matter your intentions, you are really here to disprove, debunk, and discredit any serious notions that the earth is not spherical as you've been programmed to believe. You continue to view this subject to simply hear how crazy the supporters of such ideas sound, in a passive-aggressive form of judgment, maintaining the guise of entertainment purposes. You know how intelligent and smart you are. The fact that you find higher learning, deep conversation, and documentary-style videos entertaining, while you know most of your simplistic friends prefer nonsensical cartoons, horror movies, and sports programming as their preferred method of time killing, separating you from the average troglodytes who can't be bothered to read something they weren't forced to. You know so much more than your peers, which is your tried and true barometer for your overall intelligence. I'll even bet you're critiquing this for grammar at this very moment. Yeah, you're smart. So smart that you'll be quick to explore, dismantle, and discard this entire subject as nothing more than a laughably rudimentary idea that only ancient ignorance could have concocted. Now we have science and technology behind us to disprove such nonsense. You're not here to seek truth, rather to prove the truth you already know and confirm the logic of your nature. As strange as it may seem coming from a person of my position, I too felt exactly the same for the better half of my life. I surrounded myself in logic and knowledge, analytical understanding, and science. The first time I ever came upon an Earth Globe conspiracy video on YouTube, I remember thinking to myself as I scrolled past it, these guys are ignorant nuts with far too much time on their hands. My initial response was quiet ridicule. After a few weeks of coming across more flat earth videos by different uploaders, I became intent on discrediting the ignorance of it at all, using my scientific intellect and logical reasoning as my preferred tool to put this silly subject behind me once and for all. What happened after that did not go quite as I had planned. So I started watching Earth conspiracy videos, one after another. Some people suggesting that the Earth was hollow, while others said that the Earth was actually inside out, each of which had interestingly logical points, but maintained that the Earth was still somewhat globular regardless. But the real meat of the Earth conspiracies pointed to what pre-Copernican history had always maintained, that the Earth was more or less flat. Really? After nearly 500 years of science and technological advancements, people still think that the Earth is flat? What next? The return of Jesus Christ? I just assumed, like every other rational, sane person alive today, that this was tin hat kind of rubbish, created to make society stupid, ignorant, and perhaps confused. But Earth as a sphere was in fact the lie, and that the reality of things was the opposite of what I was taught. As I began my, let's call it, research, I started to consider the facts that were presented in these flat earth arguments, and when I backed those points up with my own experience of Earth, these flat earth statements started to become less and less comically ridiculous and more plausibly serious. When I considered things like gravitational force and the Earth's movement, I naturally started to realize that if the Earth was actually spinning at over 1,100 miles per hour, gravity would in fact throw everything off its surface, not keep things on it. That would be due to the centrifugal force that rotation around the fulcrum always creates. The rabbit hole seemed to be getting deeper and deeper with every point. Before I knew it, I was legitimately consumed by this theory of Earth being flat. The supporting evidence was actually everywhere I looked. Nothing about the Earth being spherical made sense anymore. It was as if I was now awake after being in a 35-year lucid dream, and I was in this state of mental shock. This polarizing shock lasted close to 2 weeks, After the reality of flat Earth set in, I became overwhelmed with the flood of intense questions I now had about the reality we live in, as Earth is all we truly know. Where are we then? Why have we been lied to about this for nearly 5 centuries? Who created this lie? Why? Does space exist? Does time exist? Is there even such thing as a universe? What's beyond the Antarctic ice wall that completely surrounds the Earth's oceanic boundaries? How was Earth created? Are the sun and the moon really only 32 miles in diameter and only at a distance of merely 1,000 or so miles? If I pinched myself real hard, will I wake up from this insanity? What the fuck is going on here? The government must know all of this, as they have said they have landed men on the moon. But if the moon sometimes looks transparent to me, to the point that I can actually see clouds moving behind it with my own naked eyes, how could anything land on its surface? What's the gain out of all this? Why does this even matter? What difference does it make it anyway if the Earth is flat or spherical? Does anyone know the true nature of this reality? Does life outside of Earth exist? Are there really such things as aliens? What about evolution? Or is this intelligent design? Could all of this just be a virtual world inside my head? Whoa. Those questions and more cannot be easily explained, but the scientifically tangible facts like how the surface of water always flattens out when at rest, how the perspective of horizon never changes, and the Earth's complete lack of observable curvature, that provides serious enough proof that the Earth simply cannot be a sphere. Anyone who educates themselves on both sides of this subject will quickly come to realize the deception, and from that deception, you will begin to question, then learn the truth about many great lies. You will realize that just about everything you think you know is part of a huge puzzle. So I guess you're not as intelligent as you once thought you were. Rather, you were just advanced in your ability to remember things that you were taught. This then begs the question, what is intelligence anyway? Intelligence is defined by your mental capacity of learning, understanding, and reasoning. Simply remembering things does not make a person intelligent. Any computer, robot, or program can do this quite easily. It's intelligence that calls upon one's memory to understand and make sense of knowledge. That's what sets humans apart from other species and programs. If we remain closed-minded in any way, we just limit our intellectual capabilities. So by not questioning this reality, we remain stuck in it, for better or worse, and there will be no one else responsible for where you end up. So let us end with this thought. If hindsight is 20/20, when will humanity turn around to view it? Love and liberation for all.